Right, so I have returned once again today to actually deliver a stream of Golden Kamuy, the third season. Holy shit, it actually kicked in really quickly. That's loud. To me, I think just happened at once, my brain couldn't take it. No idea to why it took so long for me to kick in, but there you go. Maybe I was just being stupid or something. I'm not too sure. But anyway, yes, I actually have returned to cover episode 10 or episode 34 of Golden Kamuy. Episode 10 of season 3. Episode 34 of the whole entire series overall. Holy shit! Episode 9. Oh, you don't know how long I've been waiting for that episode to actually air, like, or get animated entirely, because god damn it. It's like, it was the quintessential, it was the most oh shit moment in the entire manga. I mean, this manga is actually has no shortage of oh shit moments. Like, complete, like, your brain just melts. But having the entire, like, backstory of Wilk, Sophia, and Kyoranka actually turn into a backstory for Tsurumi as well, which is like, what the fuck? What is happening here? What have you done, Noda? What have you done, my crazy boy? But he did it. And it actually was glorious. And actually managed to actually kind of translate it really down well into the anime. Even better, I think, to be honest. Because the actual twist was even better, I think, in the anime form. So yeah, I mean, what else is going to happen this season? I mean, it's going crazy. It's crazy times now in Golden Kamuy. Even more crazy than Season 2, which is actually is quite the achievement, because Season 2 was absolutely insane. So, I guess we've got to find out. That's the main thing. We've got to find out what's going down in Golden Kamuy, the anime series. Will Catman himself return for more than 10 seconds this week? Will we get more Catman? That's the real question. That's the underlying question of the entire episode. Catman, yes or no? Cannot deny me the Catman. I miss him so much. Right, we actually are good to go as well. So anyway, let's start this thing in 3, 2, 1. Let's start this thing absolutely now. It's a seal. We've got Catman for more than 15 seconds. It's an achievement. We've done it, lads. We've got him. We've got him. Woo! Oh, why the fuck do I love him so much? Every single infinite thing he does, I'm like, fuck! Every single time. God damn it. He has me. I shouldn't be just that much in love with that man, because he's evil. Hello, how's it going? He's evil. He's an evil Catman, but for some reason does the thing with his head on, like, just take me away. Take me, Olgata. For some reason that man just is able to do one thing and make me go, I forgive you. I forgive you completely. But yeah, I mean, holy shit, how crazy episode 9 was. How crazy it was. I still can't believe it. I still can't even believe it after reading it, to be honest. I think I read it last year, if I remember correctly. This happened last year in the manga series. I was like, what the fuck? I still think about it to this day. I'm like, how the fuck did he pull that one off? There is 2 crazy dudes in manga. There's only 2 crazy dudes in manga. Fujimoto, who does Chainsaw Man, because Fujimoto is crazy as hell. Craziest man alive. And you actually have Noda as well, who does Golden Kamuy. Both men, absolutely insane. Would love to actually share a drink with them one day. Just understand how crazy both boys are. Because god damn it, they actually made the most insane series of all time, but they actually are the most brilliant ones as well. So yeah, I mean, now we're heading into, like, the tail end of it. Pardon the pun. Tail. Ogata. Heading into telling this whole entire series, so what will happen? No idea. I mean, I do actually know, but to wait and see. To wait and see. It's gonna be brilliant to see how this whole entire thing concludes. To be honest, do hope season 4 gets announced like possibly very very earlier into like maybe next year, hopefully. We have infinite amount of Catman this week. Infinite Catman. Thank you so much. Thank you. I send you all my love. I send you all... Oops, shit. Now I send you all my love. Ah, there you go. There's my love. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Sophia's like I sleep. Sophia, I sleep. Everyone else, boy, it's happening. So glad, I'm so glad to actually see more Sophia as well, because Sophia's great. Everyone in this whole entire series is absolutely fantastic. It's a good old-fashioned prison break. Isn't it because if you actually don't, ooh, they're getting close. They're getting close. Is it because if you don't store explosive correctly, they actually can dull? If I remember. I can't remember I heard that. I swear it's because of fireworks. If I remember. Holy shit! She just drop kicked him. She just drop kicked him. Dead ass. Just drop kicked the dude. Oh shit. Cat. And now there's two cats. And now there's two cats. I can't remember this whole entire chapter's actually a reference to Rikyo. If anyone's ever seen the film Rikyo, I actually read the original manga, I think, of Rikyo. I can't remember actually as a reference to Rikyo. Rikyo is also fantastic as well, to be honest. I love Rikyo. The problem is, they're like, "What do we do about this tiger?" I'm like, "Bro, you've got another cat outside waiting. You've got two cats on the horizon." Hello, hello. How's it going? Holy shit. If that ain't the most metal thing you've seen in your lifetime, I don't know what is, to be honest. She just goddamn rode that damn tiger. About the most metallic thing I've seen in my whole entire lifetime. Let's be real. Let's be real. It ain't a prison break unless you actually have a rogue tiger just randomly moving around. It ain't no prison break without a tiger. Oh, And they meet. And they meet. The look. The look. The look Ogata actually just gives him. I mean, the person who did it to him is actually in the background. Ogata's like, I'm off the hook this time round. Even though it was him that did it, he's like, I'm off the hook. It's a pretty freaking well planned prison break, to be honest. It's kind of interesting, actually. It's kind of interesting how Sophia is actually a part of like the I guess like the, it's not aristocratic, but kind of like the, is it upper class, I guess, is how you probably would describe it. And actually, then she kind of actually went into where Wilk was. It's actually kind of interesting because again, it kind of goes back to this whole entire idea of actually not knowing true what's actually truly going on. That's the entire thing with revolutionary movement as well. I kind of find it interesting. I always kind of imagine that Ogata actually kind of thinks that he knows how things will end. He's got like foresight of like, I don't know at this point. Like he understand. I think he understands that stuff will go wrong, but he just kind of sits there and watches instead. I think the best indication of the whole entire thing was back when with the Yojimbo arc, when Ogata was just kind of sitting up top of the actual like watchtower, watching everything kind of unfold. Ooh. Oh, but it is, Ogata. Oh, but it is. This best boy waiting over the horizon. He's going to take a piss. Poor boy. It's kind of interesting though. They actually can infrared cross the entire the ice strait as well. Even though, considering that ice is like the most temperamental thing in the universe as well. I kind of find it to be really fascinating. Again, everything about Wilk's actually really fascinating as well, to be honest. I kind of always liked learning more about him. Because one, it gives you more context on the actual world itself, but also like the idea of actually history itself as well. Because one thing for certain is the idea that, as they say, they tend to actually pass down the history through speech. So in a way, it's actually kind of tradition kind of keeps alive with how they tell about Wilk. It does sort of strike me as maybe you could actually maybe add like what Wilk says to possibly some of the characters in the show as well. The idea of the weak being eaten as well. Whether or not you actually probably can infer attribute it to some of the characters in the show as well. God damn. Because in a way, you can actually probably say that Augusta's actual way of thinking is almost opposite to actually how a wolf actually technically tends to kind of work. Because in a way, he doesn't. I guess in a way, he actually believes that the weak can actually slow down. In essence, how he believed his brother to be weak. How he believed that the idea of him not actually killing anyone is kind of like a weakness in a way. And actually, that's in the end how he kind of just killed him off. Because he believes that the weak and the pure basically can't survive in the world, especially in the battlefield as well. So to an extent, it's kind of a contradiction to actually how the wolves actually think. So maybe it could, in theory, like in essence, when we learn about the actual animals, it could in theory be attributed to the characters in the show. Ow. That's just my philosophy, at least. And now we know. It's all starting to come together now, actually. Uh oh. That look I got to just gave as well. Ooh. Ooh. It's not a good look. It's a look of, oh shit, something's gonna happen. They would never kill off Shirashi. They couldn't do it. It's against the rules. He's back. I'm so happy. We got Beautiful Boy back. They're actually back together as well. Makes me cry a little bit. I love him so much. He's such a good boy. As opposed to Ogata, who's a very evil man, but still, we love him. We love him anyway. So yeah, I mean, it's interesting because as we learn about the actual way the animals live as well in the show, it kind of strikes me as maybe there could be like just slight bits of like parallels in how they in actually how they live versus how the characters in the actual show tend to actually kind of continue on as well. I don't know. It's always one of those things. It's kind of hit me as season 3 went on, whether or not it's actually kind of like the way they're kind of going about it. It's interesting because you do actually kind of learn. You can then understand a bit more of actually how then the characters actually function through that whole entire like understanding of the actual animals. Because again, the idea of Ogata kind of like in a way killing his own brother, kind of getting rid of the weak that slows down the entirety of like the actual pack. In a way, again, it kind of doesn't really go back to the whole entire idea of like how the wolves live. But at the same time, it's a little bit of a contradiction because the way that Ogata kind of does it, Ogata doesn't actually realize it's more of his own kind of deluded philosophy in a way, rather than say the actual overall philosophy. It's how he believes the world to actually kind of work, rather than say how it actually truly does in free function. Oh shit! Is it gonna happen? Are we actually getting the episode? Is it happening, lads? Is it happening? Are we getting it next week? Oh shit! I ain't prepared. I ain't prepared for next week's episode, actually. Oh god, I ain't prepared for that episode. Oh no! I got to actually minimize my window because I'm actually a bit too bright. But yeah, overall, very, very interesting episode, I must say. More or less because you actually learn a lot more about how Wilk lived as well, and actually how how he does in theory change people as well, because that whole entire idea of actually how Sophia came from an idea of nobility in a way, but actually once she met Wilk and killed Unke, she actually kind of then left the whole entire life and actually kind of joined the revolutionaries in that way. I kind of find it to be very interesting because it's the idea behind that she had pretty much a safe place to actually kind of live. She had pretty much a lot of things that people would want, but because Wilk actually kind of showed her a world that she didn't know, she left it. It actually kind of doesn't really go back to this whole entire idea of like how, in a way, aristocratic and actually kind of like very high class living is a very kind of closed off idea as well, because you don't see the wider picture in a way. It's very much more of a kind of like a secluded kind of idea. And I like how, in a way, Wilk showed her that kind of life that she would never actually kind of know. It also goes back to the whole entire idea of actually how Wilk actually is a very, very kind of like, he's a very charismatic person in the way. He actually can in theory lead. He's one of those characters that I do imagine if he actually was still alive in this season, or in subsequent seasons as well, he would in theory actually be able to lead an actual kind of group of people as well, like and actually kind of maybe even lead the group we actually currently have, because he just has that persuasive aurora about him. He actually can in theory actually just get people on his side. And I kind of like that, because again, it's one of those things that it goes, that's this whole entire idea of actually how different people tend to actually kind of possibly get people on their side as well. The idea of the manipulation that's with Surumi. I guess the idea of also manipulation kind of with Ogata as well. But it's actually how it is with other people as well. I like that whole entire concept as well, because again, this show has a varied cast of characters. Each character is very much alive. They're not an archetype. They're a character that exists or existed in this world. And it's actually kind of interesting to see how the nuances of their characters then influence other people as well. And I kind of like that. It's actually very much more apparent with Sophia, and actually then with Kyoranke, and actually then subsequently, possibly as time goes on, actually how we learn more about him, possibly everyone else as well. But again, with the title of next week's episode, you probably might imagine what might in theory be going down. It's going to be very interesting to see. But yeah, I mean, again, I kind of, as I was saying with Ogata as well, I kind of like how Ogata actually functions in this whole entire season as well. He's very interesting, because again, as I said during the stream itself, he's one of those people that knows something's going to happen. He understands already that it's going to happen at some point, so it's going to happen. But he doesn't so much change fate. He allows fate to actually kind of just happen in a way, actually kind of just watches from the distance, actually see it all unfold, or actually might in theory himself get involved when he sees fit. And that whole entire bit at the end, when he actually looked over at Asidipa as well, it proves to you there and then he knows something. He knows that she knows something now, but even more so that he knows maybe something might go down. The whole entire idea of the gunshot with Sugimoto as well very much kind of heightens that whole entire idea perfectly. He understands something's going to go down. Whether or not he will change how it will go down, or whether or not he actually will accelerate it to a point that it might, in theory, actually kind of take a different turn, is yet to be seen. But as I always said, watch out for Ogata, because he's not a character who's just like, look, I'm hot cat man. No, he's probably one of the best characters in this whole entire show, just because of the reason to how he actually lives in this world versus everyone else. Much again. Very much again go back to this whole entire idea of what actually was going on with actually how they explain the animals as well, and actually how they can in theory be attributed, as I said beforehand, possibly to some parallels between the characters. But yeah, I mean, this season's amazing. Like even more so than before. I probably would say it's actually probably probably one of the strongest shows of this whole entire year. If it wasn't a sequel but a new show, it'd be Anime of the Year, because it's absolutely exquisitely done. Every single week something new kind of gets unfolded to the point that it kind of then changes perception of everything else. And I kind of like that, because every single week is something different. The whole entire idea of like Wilk's actual origins, the origins of actual Wilk's name as well, the origins of Sophia, the origins of Sophia, Kieran and Wilk as well. All those things kind of just mesh together, but actually mesh together so goddamn well that it brings out a completely different perception of the whole entire world and the events themselves. The idea of Surumi last week was actually kind of a prime example of that whole entire idea. But I feel like season 3 is basically like kind of like the catharsis in that idea, the catharsis, and also like the kind of like the crescendo as well, because it just gets better and better. That's a problem. Golden Kamuy just keeps on getting better and better each week, and actually it won't stop either. As I'm hoping season 4 gets actually announced pretty hopefully soon, because it just gets better and better. I can't wait to actually see how else they do the rest of this whole entire manga, because I've read to 241, if I remember correctly. So I've read, is it about 40-50 chapters ahead of the actual season 3? So yeah, it's more and more serious. But yeah, I guess we're on the penultimate episode now, if I remember correctly. Is it the penultimate one? Let's have a look quickly. I swear it is the penultimate episode next week. It is. Episode 11 is the penultimate episode of the whole entire week. So actually now we're almost bidding farewell to the whole entire show as soon as it just came back. But again, it's so good. This show is brilliant. Every single week it just ups the ante somehow. And the actual visuals as well are really good. I do really like how they actually kind of took time to actually kind of develop the actual visual style and actual direction as well. It's very much more lively this time around. It wasn't as if it was bad beforehand, but I feel like the show just kind of got better since season 2 to season 3. It feels like it's actually a lot more involved from an actual kind of point of view of the characters' emotions, the body language, the world, the storytelling as well. It kind of had a heightened sense of like development in the meantime. So I like it. But anyway, I hit my microphone again, I guess, as well. Sorry about that. So anyway, that is me done for today. So as always, ご視聴ありがとうございます。僕の動画を面白いと思ったら、いいねやチャンネル登録をお願いします。So as always, if you actually have enjoyed this whole entire stream doing free, leave a like, because indeed it's been quite a bit. If you have then enjoyed this whole entire stream doing free, leave a sub, because indeed it's been quite a bit as well. If you have then enjoyed this whole entire stream doing free, follow me on Twitter, or join Discord as well, because both do help me quite a lot, and both will then tell you when any streams are live and any other streams I do as well. But until next week with the actual penultimate episode of Golden Kamuy.